Hello again. Yeah, sorry for the camera being that way round, bear with me. So, what I've learned is, well, I've learned a few things recently, always learning. What I have learned about videos on my phone is once you're recording, you cannot turn the camera around, which is rather irritating. So, I understand that there was quite a few boaters from the London boat group that were interested in what I was doing with this engine. Sorry, I'm here. So it's part two, I suppose. I did get it going from last time, but there was complications. Bear with me because I'm getting into my engine bay, so I can sort of show you guys what I'm going to start doing and talk you through it all. Bear with me. So where was I? Got it running last time. Had it running for about a day or so. Wouldn't rev, still wouldn't rev. Played around with it a bit more and turned well, this is the thing actually. It turned out, well, all of a sudden there was a sort of horrible grinding noise and then it just shut down. I broke something. Let's have a look and see what you can see. Let's see what you can see on the camera. Yeah, so as we know, there's the fuel pump. I think what I'm going to proceed to do right now is start taking it apart on the video. We've got my tools here. I just need to find somewhere to put the phone. Hang on, I did prepare myself a little bit. Don't fall over. This should work. Yeah, John, if you can see that, you did leave your cigarettes here, mate. And yeah, I'm never going to smoke them, but they're here. Yeah, shout out to John Curry as well, good friend of mine. He's proper character. Left his cigarettes right there. How are we going to do this? So, I'll try and get this stable. Bumping it around like usual. Is this going to work? Is it going to go where I want it to? Apologies, we're getting there. Obviously none of this is really playing too much. You're not going to be able to see that, are you? Right, okay, scrap that. Don't fall in the engine bay, Stephen. If I can just sort of balance it here, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, I need some light as well. Okay, hold on guys, hold on. Apologies. Just give me a sec. I'm going to get my torch. Let's not mess around. There's a big torch. Right, yeah, let's see what you can see now. There we go. If I move that over a bit. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start to disconnect the fuel pump, because I believe the thing that made a horrible grinding sound when it was running, well, I believe that was the thing that made a horrible grinding sound when it was running. And now, after more testing and messing around, as you do, I can take the injectors off, I can crank it and crank it and crank it, and there's absolutely no fuel coming through. So, it's not rocket science, is it? The fuel pump's knackered. Okay. The other thing as well is I've had to try and figure out what I'm going to do with it. So the plan is to take it out completely. Been looking at various different engines. What was I looking at? A Yanmar with about 65 horse, and I was also looking at a Volvo Penta with about 55 horse, but they're coming out very expensive, as you can imagine. There we go, gotcha. Yeah. Come off, you bastard. So, I sort of was considering them. The only downside to that was I was going to have to, firstly, probably fabricate some engine mounts, which can be done. It would have been a bit of a challenge. But secondly, which would have been the bigger problem, I'd have had to make it line up with my drive shaft at the back, which I will show you in time. So I spent about, how long have I spent? I spent about 2 weeks, oh no, not 2 weeks, yeah, about 2 weeks actually, figuring out what I was going to do and looking at all different options. Now originally I wanted to put a fairly large 2.5 BMC engine in here, and I got politely told by Marine Enterprises that it would fit, but it would be a heck of a job. So we sort of put that on the back burner. The Yanmar is a very nice modern diesel, 2006 production, I believe. And the Brucey bonus with this, the Yanmar, which was definitely a viable option, just an expensive one, is that it had a mechanical fuel pump, so didn't really need any real modifications to the wiring loom, and no ECU as such. So did think about that, like the look of it. Found one with 300 hours, 300 running hours, coming out at $5.5 grand. So, not entirely sure about that. Then there was a Volvo Penta. Now, what was it? D2, I think it was a D255. Again, a very nice little engine, compact, fairly modern. 2 litre, inline 4. Cooled as this is. Come on for your buck up. There we go, there's one. Yeah, it's cooled. Where was I? Volvo Penta. So I'm trying to do a few things at once here. Yeah, so the Volvo Penta was cool. Again, that was coming out about $4 grand. Still a viable contender, but obviously I need the money first, don't I? And as a lot of you will probably be aware, and a lot of you probably in the same situation, if your engine isn't running, you don't have any hot water, which is a little bit frustrating. So I managed to get around this by boiling the kettle and washing it up, and using other people's showers on their boats, and going to the gym, using the shower, blah blah blah. Anyway, I digress. So where was I? The engine. What am I going to do? I've managed to get in touch with I found it online, Calcutta Boats. I've used them before actually, and they were extremely helpful. Guy called Roger. Took for about 4 or 5 days for him to come back to me, because I know he's a very, very busy chap. I know he's getting on a bit as well, and he's still doing what he's doing, so total respect to him for that. Anyway, I ended up having about he must have been on the phone for about 45 minutes to an hour. I was telling him what I want to do. So one of the reasons why you'll probably be thinking, why don't I just fix the fuel pump? Which is a good question. 2 reasons. I want more power, and this little engine, as good as it's been, does have a little bottom end lock, and also burns a bit of oil. So there, internally, it needs work. Back to Roger at Calcutta Boats. Now, we spoke for a long time, and I found out that I can swap this with a BMC 1.8. And because this is 35 horse to 1.5, and these are in a lot of narrowboat. This is a very, very common engine, and it's a very, very good engine. Oh fuck, that don't want to come out, does it? Don't break it. Okay. Yeah, so it's a very common engine, it's a very good engine. As I said before, I have no idea the running time on this one. It has done its fair slip for me, and it has definitely earned my respect as a solid runner. That being said, when I spoke to Roger, I told him I want a bit more power. Told him I've been looking at the 1.8, because the best thing about the 1.8 is, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, I'll show you. This gearbox here fits straight on with a different bell housing, so we can change. I think it would be, yeah, it'd be this section, I believe. Yeah, this bit here we can change, and then the 1.8 bolts straight onto this gearbox, no messing around. And the other thing about keeping it BMC, the engine mounts are in exactly the same place. The runners, I don't know if you can, yeah, I'll show you. See that, this runner here, that's a support beam on my boat. That holds the engine in place. That's my very strong, trusty starter motor. We've got one on this side, and we've got one on, you can't really see it. We've got one on this side right here. And you can see gearbox mount. I think you can see that. Yeah, gearbox mount. Then, what have we got down here? Oh, can I see it? Yeah, well, the engine sits on that ring thing there. That's the mount from the engine. And there's another one up front, but I can't see it. You get the point, right? It's a much simpler swap. And so, again, the BMC 1.5, great engine, love it. Comes with 35 horse when it's running nicely. And yeah, that's about all you're really going to get out of that. The 1.8, off from what they make straight out of the box, Roger was telling me they restrict the fuel pumps. So it is capable of 55 horse. To do that, he needs to do a couple of things to the engine for me. Another thing I learned as well, that he told me, which is fascinating, the intake and the exhaust is identical. It's identical. So the only main difference is this thing. I think it's a slightly bigger one, and what they do is they don't restrict it at all. They open it up. That's gonna be fun, isn't it? You know what? Boat's fairly quick already. I mean, I'm going to double the power. Should be interesting when I go up the Thames again next year. Love it. Just got to get this done first. It'll happen. So, hang on, I'm sidetracked again. Oh, there we go. That feels like it's going to break. No, it's not. Oh, there we go. Is that coming out? Hey, there we go. Getting there slowly. Let's take this off next, I think. Yeah, I will take that off. Yeah, where was I regarding this engine from Calcutta Boats? Now, Roger said he can build me one up. He also said he doesn't mind me sending this one back in bits. So, over Christmas, woohoo. See, I consider this playing around. This is fun to me. which most people think you're nuts. Slightly, I am. Anyway, so I'm going to take this one apart, I'm going to break it down into bits, and then I'm going to send it to them, in which time they will then work out what parts of mine are reusable, because they'll go back on the shelf for somebody else's engine, and essentially they will build me a new engine. I've got to email him and tell him all of this and put it in writing, but that's what we're doing. I hope to have this broken down and out in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to ask Nicholas, my very strong friend, if he can help me. So we'll take the head off first, take all the ancillaries off, no drama, and then we'll split the block. I should be able to lift the head out myself, and then I'll ask Nicholas to come and help me, lift the bottom end out. The other good thing about all of this is, as well, my boat's very old, and I finally can get underneath everything and give it a good fucking clean, because it needs it. You can see how dirty my hands are. I've only been in absolute filth. Most of these engines are. But I can't wait to put a very shiny new BMC engine in. So that's the other thing as well, because obviously my first question, well, one of my first questions was, what do you do to these engines? And they told me they completely strip them down. They put new pistons, new liners, they do any work to the crank if needed, new bearings, all new, sealed up, sprayed, painted, lovely jubbly, pretty much essentially this doesn't make much sense, it's a brand new 40-year-old engine. So it's as good as I'm going to get, really. And using this engine as a part exchange, it's coming in, well, I haven't had the figures back yet, and it should come in at about £3,000. So happy days. I haven't really got the money for this right now, but needs must, and I will find it. I'll have to do some extra work at work, and yeah, we'll get around it. It's got to happen. This is my home, and I very much like it. It's lucky that I like playing around with tools, really, isn't it? This isn't coming off, is it, too easy? Nice because it's got a spinning nut on the back of that twat. Think on that. Alright, there we go. What is that? Yeah. Right, just go get my grips, hang on. Backside a bit. This is what I will say as well. I mean, if any of you guys have trouble with your engine, but you want to give me a shout, I'm always very much happy to help. I'm not an expert on these things, but I'm slowly learning a great deal, and they're quite simple to take apart, in all honesty. None of it's really been that challenging. I mean, those that know me know that I have a bit more of a challenging toy, which I've been playing around with, which has a much larger engine. But yeah, that side, as I say, if anybody wants to follow me or ask questions or wants a little bit of, well, if I can help in any way, basically, I always will. Yeah, it's coming off now. It's not a brush. Oh, this is such an awkward position to work in. It's always awkward to work on. Yeah, so let me see what, yeah, you can see it. These are my friend, these are my best friend, these grips. They are amazing. Fully adjustable, right? Like I say. got teeth that bite in, so the only thing you can do is ruin bolts with them because they will cut into them slightly. Again, I digress. Yeah, so another little mod I've done, which you can find on Amazon for the BMC 1.5. I think you can see it, it's here. I'll give you a better view. It allows you to put a screw-on filter, a screw-on oil filter. There it is. And it was very, very easy to change. 2 bolts just on the side. Highly recommend it because it saves a lot of messing around. Yeah, I think it cost me. It's no more than like 15 quid or something. Yeah. So I think that's the other thing. When I get this new engine in, this boat is gonna be dramatically quicker. I don't know what the 1.8 revs to. That I'll have to find out. Good upon me. I am Steve and I am doing this. For those who have seen Post Level, great film. Yes, I am One Lee and I have done this. An absolute banger of a film. I don't know if you can hear the music in the background as well. Nice little bit of vocal garage I've got going on. Standard. Oh yeah. Happy Thursday morning. Why not? Why the fuck not? Come on. Yeah. Well, I hope. See, I wasn't going to do an up video, but then I got told that, well, first of all, I noticed that quite a few people had actually watched it, and then secondly, I got told that a lot of people found it very informative. So that's the aim of the game, I guess. Oh dear. Well, we'll find out later. Didn't want to drop that, but we did. Oh well. Yeah, another little thing I keep having, I've done. Again, I guess you guys, you live on your boat. We all know power's a thing. What I did do, it seems to work for me, is I have 2 alternators, and I found a company down in Barking that recon them for me. Yeah, that was quite funny actually, because he does cars all the time, obviously, and I bought an alternator to him, because this is a Lucas A127, I believe. It's a very, very common alternator, nothing special. I think it outputs 75 watts, and that's as big as you can put on a BMC 1.5, because otherwise the belt will slip. I know, because I've done this. Anyway, where was I? Yes, I took it down to a chap in Barking side. I think called Quick Start. They're pretty good. Okay, we've lost them as well. We'll fish all this out later. I'm not too fussed. It's all coming out anyway. We can pop these pipes off one by one. Let's get some more bits off. Yeah, Quick Start, 2 alternators. And took the alternator down to him. I was like, hey, how you doing? You alright? Like, yeah. I need this alternator reconditioned. Like, oh yeah, no worries. That's,